Adhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Sri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai. So, yeah, all the Guru Varga Ki Jai. Okay. So we're reading Prabhupada Jivanamritam, Life Nectar of the Surrendered Souls. We're on the 4th chapter in the section, the words of the devotees, Bhakta Vachanamritam, and rejection of the unfavorable is this chapter. And we've just heard Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur telling us that he would rather be born as an insect in a family of devotees than as Brahma. And then Prabodhananda Saraswati is saying, let me live in a cage of blazing fire, but never let me be around people who are averse to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then, interestingly enough, Srila Guru Maharaj comes in the next stanza. He talks about the finding faults in the devotees, that we have to see in the context of reality, not in the context of illusion. If we look if we remain in the context of illusion, then we'll always find fault. There's always fault to be found on the material level. But we have to change our vision and see the devotee as devotees, as souls, and that whatever flaws are there that may jump out at us, they're not important because they have to do with the illusory energy. And so to see in that way, kind of qualifies the idea of being born wherever you can in the family of devotees, reminding us that when we're amongst the devotees, we have to try to see them as who they really are, who they ultimately really are, who what their ideal is, and try to exchange on that level, as opposed to the mundane level where we always try to place ourselves in the highest position. Anything, Didi?
Well, just
yes.
Our Gurudev, he embodied that to the extreme, as he used to say, really the Vaishnav mentality is to correct oneself, to find faults with one's own self and to seek goodness in others, to collect goodness in others. So Srila Gurudev used to say, my religion is finding fault with myself and also to glorify the devotees. Just that. And as you said so nicely, to mark that bright side and to learn to reciprocate with that bright side within others. And actually, by doing that, we are benefiting those persons, and we're drawing out that goodness within them, and we're also benefiting our own self by entering into that natural Vaishnav culture of appreciation.
It's really sweet, drawing out the goodness. Like we have a really fortunate opportunity that we can help each other by encouraging each other, that you're carrying an ideal. I honor that ideal. I honor that person who's carrying that ideal, and then the other person feels, yes, I have an ideal. Let me strive for it. And otherwise, it's just discouraging to look at people's faults, because if we meditate on a fault, we've heard this before. If we meditate on a fault, that fault comes to us. And like I said before, I've seen it so many times. I see a fault in a devotee, and later I feel that same fault comes to me, and I realize that I did it to myself. And I've seen it so many times. So anyway, we're on the we're now on the final sloka of this chapter. And Guru Maharaj gives a fairly long introduction to this. This is number 27, and it's a quotation, finally from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. But first we have the quotation from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. For the pure devotees who have taken refuge in the mellow of pure devotion in Vrindavan, even the reverential service of Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha is considered to be as adverse as the aspiration for worldly pleasure or liberation. This is Guru Maharaj introducing a shloka by Raghunath Das, which Saraswati Thakur gives a long Bengali commentary on, which Srila Guru Maharaj cites as the translation. So we'll read the Guru Maharaj's Sanskrit. Braja rasa ritanam bhakti muti spriha tata aisvarya mishra Vaikuntha pati sevapi tyajatena ganayaha. So we don't want that position in Vaikuntha. It's the same as the bhukti mukti is the same. Bhukti, sense gratification, mukti, liberation. We have no interest in that. Okay. Then I'll read the English of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentary on this. Anything but Krishna's message, know as falsehood such a passage. Such a harlot is very dangerous. Devotion to Lord Sri Krishna, rarely gotten by the jiva, that harlot steals away this consciousness. Oh dear mind, please hear my prayer. And if you hear the presentation of the tigress of liberation, all the soul's good prospect she'll devour. But temptations please abandon, and not to speak of liberation. Curb attention for Lord Narayan by attraction to that plane. To Vaikuntha you'll be hurled down, denied the chance to live in Sri Vrindavan. Love for Radha Krishna in Braja bestows the most precious treasure. Adore them in your heart eternally. Rupa Raghunath's feet for such devotees does entreat. This Bhakti Vinod bereft in all humility. Oh, it's a verse by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, I'm sorry.
The original verse is Raghunath Das Goswami.
Yes. Yeah, and the Bengali commentary is Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Yeah. Raghunath Das gives the original verse, which is Asad Bharta Vesha Visrija Mati Sarva Swadhanaha Kata Mukti Vyagra Na Srinu Kila Sarvatma Gilani Api Tyaktva Lakshmi Pati Ratim Ito Vyoma Nayanam Braje Radha Krishna Swarati Mandinao Twang Bhaja Manaha. In the commentary, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Krishna, Tarta, I can hardly read it. Can you read this, Peter?
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty small. Where am I here?
Yeah.
Krishna Varta Vina Anna Asad Varta Boli Jana Se Vesha Ati Boyan Kori Se Krishna Vishai Mati Jiver Dor Laba Ati Se Vesha Mati Loi Hari Shunoman boli he tomai. Mukti name shardulini tar kata jadi shuni sarvatma sampati girikai. Taru bai tyag koro mukti kata parihar lakshmi pati rati raka dore. Se rati prabal hole paravyome deye fele. This is the line that our gurus would always quote. Paravyome, you'll be hurled down to Vaikuntha. Nahi deya vasa braja pure. Braja radha krishna rati amulya danada ati. Tai tumi bhaja chiradin. Rupa raghunatha pai. Se rati partanai. E bhakti vino dinahin.
So it's interesting how the chapter ends with this like admonition that don't look towards Vaikuntha. It's kind of like Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Raghunath Das bringing us to the last snare before entering Goloka. They've brought us through the whole transition, finishing with avoiding faults in the devotee, and now avoiding being hurled down to Vaikuntha. And that means that, it must mean that ultimately when we, reach the stage past ruchi, attraction, and begin to develop some kind of transcendental form, there'll be some attraction for the beauty and the glories and the opulence of Vaikuntha. But Bhaktivinoda is kind of giving us a warning that we can kind of plant in our consciousness that, don't be distracted by that, because the pastimes in Goloka have so much more heart depth that, we'll want to focus on that. Because beyond just being a servant, there's so much experience to be had in personal, direct reciprocation with Krishna, not as just the Lord on a throne, but with Krishna as, a friend or a child or a lover. These things are possible, and it's being told to us what it will be. So we're advised, avoid the temporary lures of the material world, focus on the transcendence, on service, and then avoid the snare of looking at faults of the Vaishnavas, and then finally, consider Vaikuntha not attractive. Feel that there's a higher plane for me to go to in service. There's a deeper level of service that I can find. It's like even now we're attempting, whatever position we're in, we're attempting to delve into our heart and deepen our conscious service connection. And everybody's different. We're confronted with different obstacles, and we have different attractions and strengths, and and everybody's vision is limited. So we have to kind of realize that everybody's going to be extremely different, because that's just the nature of reality. And what to speak of simultaneously dealing with overcoming the obstacles of the external world and developing the internal feeling. It's a massive task, and anybody who's attempting that is like amazing. We're actually able to associate with people like that. What what good fortune, what happiness. So why waste our time in looking at the flaws? It's like we're in a dream. The dream has to do with flaws, so let's focus on waking up. That's the real reality is the awakened world, not the dream. So like withdraw from the dream. Withdraw from all the, considerations of the dream. Like there's all kinds of conspiracies, there's, political things and this and that. I mean, it's just the material world. It will go on forever. Like I studied history, and if you get into studying history, you see there's like repeatedly the same thing over and over again. In earlier days, in the early development of Kali Yuga, it's local kings against other local kings, and eventually it's developed to the large countries against other large countries, and it's all based on acquisition and material gain. And everybody's thinking, if we just follow our system, everything will be better. And we have to like give our system to everyone because everyone will become better. And it all has to do with the illusion of this world. And even like religious people are thinking, let's serve God because God is going to make this place nice for us. Most people think like that. It's actually kind of, for us, having been given this kind of vision and consciousness by our gurus, it's a little shocking to see that, religious people are actually thinking like that. That, oh, God has given me this body to enjoy. God has given me this world to enjoy. Let me just think of God and, by His grace, enjoy the world. It's like, something is there. We can honor that, something that's there. That at least they're realizing there is a God and that He is behind everything. But to think that, there's nothing more, really it's a consciousness, it's a stunted consciousness, thinking that there's nothing more than like this world. This place is going to have to be the paradise. They think like that. We'll make this heaven on earth. And it's just not like that. The vision given by our gurus that this temporary world is, each one of us has our own particular prison cell of the body and the mind and the intellect and the ego, and it's all been formed according to our crimes. And we have a way now, by the grace of our gurus, to leave the prison cell behind, and to help others also realize this. So it's we're extremely fortunate, and to remember that and to see that in our friends and our the beloved devotees that we are fortunate to be with. It's really like that. We're so close with the devotees because our hearts are there in the same direction, and we can share in Krishna consciousness such a auspicious life. You just have to focus. So yeah, Raghunath Das is warning us about this final stage, as is Bhaktivinoda Thakur giving his commentary in the Bengali translation. So anything, Didi?
We see what I've observed in Prapana Jivanamrita, Srila Maharaj, there's some gradation in the way that he's presenting shlokas, and so like in this chapter, I think he's starting with, in the rejection of the unfavorable, he's starting with more gross aspects and developing to more subtle things that we'll have to face. And so here in the conclusion, it's like once you've left behind the negative side, you've entered the positive spiritual plane, then there's finer obstacles that you'll have to face. And so this verse is like summarizing the three, basically any obstacle we face, it will go within these three categories. Bhakti, the tendency for enjoyment, exploitation on the negative side. Mukti, the aspiration to become free from the negative side. And those are both like kind of kindergarten things. And then once you've entered that positive spiritual platform, then the attraction to Aishvarya, to opulence, to grandeur. And for us it it's not so relevant actually. We're like struggling in the mud, you know. We're struggling mainly with the tendency for bhakti, for exploitation. But still, you know, as you expressed, we need to have some clarity about what is our ideal. You know, what is the ideal that our gurus have given to us. And also, I recall in one place Srila Sridhar Maharaj, I don't remember if he references this verse, but that we should check the tendency that we may have to aspire after, you know, greatness, opulence, majesty, because it's something that can attract us. We become impressed by wealth and grandeur and greatness and all of these things. That's not the ideal that our gurus are giving us. For the purpose of preaching, we may utilize those things. And so that was like very central to Srila Saraswati Thakur's mission. You know, this verse that was like his motto, you know, Matala Sadhujana Vishayarange Pujala Ragapata Gorva Bange. That we're holding that Ragapat, that plane of simplicity and spontaneous love, as the highest. But in service to that, we're utilizing all the grandeur and all the majesty of this world. You know, that was like very much Saraswati Thakur's preaching style. He liked to do things in a grand way, in a dignified way, in order to show the dignity of that higher, divine, that plane of divine simplicity. And so similarly, you know, in our preaching, we may utilize grandeur, wealth, opulence, you know, wonderful presentation, and so on and so forth. But we should check, you know, keep some detachment from that within our heart, and remember that ultimately what our gurus are giving us is that plane of natural love and affection, simplicity, charm. That is the highest thing. You know? That is the most wonderful. That is the supreme.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see how, you know, within the teachings that have been given to us by our gurus, there's already implanted instruction for like all levels as we progress. There'll be instruction. It's already there. It's given. Like the statements by Srila Govinda Maharaj, which you probably know better about, you know, our being able to develop in Krishna consciousness just with one book, just with Chaitanya Charitamrita. Did you say that about Prabhupada Jivanamritam also?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
put a lot of emphasis on Prabhupada.
Yeah. So, you know, to hear that and to, you know, realize that is important. That as we progress, our guru is with us and is helping us in each particular stage, even if we can't really clearly understand what's happening. We're developing. That we know. That's our gurus tell us. We develop in Krishna consciousness in a positive way, and as we develop, as we need to understand different things pop out to us in the books. They're there. This is like subjective evolution. Development of consciousness under the guidance of Sri Guru. And it's not as though there's some kind of objective evolution where you hop from like one guru to another, which is, you know, what some people think. I don't want to get off on that again, but you know, it's just should be understood like that. That, you know, what is contained in what's given to us by our gurus, you know, unless we get direct instruction from them for other books, everything is there. Everything will develop. Everything will manifest, you know, by the higher arrangement. You know, particularly Prabhupada Jivanamritam, like Didi said. And, you know, what to speak of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, you know, written by Kaviraj Goswami, inspired, you know, directly by Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and, you know, given to us in the Western world by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, you know, authorized by Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj. There's, you know, so much there that we can, you know, that we can enter into. What to speak of all the the talks of Srila Guru Maharaj, the talks of Srila Govinda Maharaj, the books that have manifested as a result of those. It's not as though you read through Search for Sri Krishna one time or 5 times or 10 times and you've got it. You know, if you think like that, you don't understand. You know that the direction of Sri Guru is like progressive. It's always manifesting in a different way depending on our service necessity. The Guru reveals through his words and through the living Shastra. And Shastra is living when it's connected with service to Sri Guru. Otherwise, we can't access Shastra. Okay. What time is it? Okay, we should get on to Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, iti Sri Prapanajivamrite Sri Bhakta Vachanamritam Tanargataha Pratikulya Vivarjanam Nama Chaturto Jayaha. Thus ends the 4th chapter, rejection of the unfavorable words of nectar from the devotees in the life nectar of the surrendered souls, positive and progressive immortality. So tomorrow we get to start chapter 5. Again, Sri Bhakta Vachanamritam. This one is Rakshish Yatiti Visvasaha. Confidence in the Lord's protection. Rakshish Yatiti. Confidence in the Lord's protection. Should be really nice. Okay. Shri Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And I like to think that when we say Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, for his glorifying him in his giving us Sri Prabhupada Jivanamritam, then I think, well, should I say names of the our other Guru Varga, which more or less is unlimited, but then I think contained within the glorification of Srila Sridhar Maharaj is the glorification of all of our gurus. Actually, it's like that. In the glorification of Srila Govinda Maharaj, that everything leads up to Srila Govinda Maharaj. So in him resides the glories of our sampradaya. Okay. So Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mahat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mahat Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Okay. Okay, we just read about the word bhavet, which is in the imperative mood, and which indicates that this certainly must be done. This understanding such pastimes and manifestations of Krishna, as it said in Manusim, was it? Oh, Manusham.
No, Maharaj, actually, the other day
we read past this?
You weren't here
this
morning, so I couldn't find where we...
Okay, yeah, because it was still marked here.
No, because I read from the other book.
Oh, I see. Oh, you know why we're reading from this book? Did I tell you?
Yeah, you said.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I like reading from there because I like feeling I have the whole book.
I guess you can understand if there's problems.
Yeah. You are in you are in verse number 40 or something.
What, is there a possibility of getting a whole book of 1974 edition?
We have it.
No, in one book.
Oh, in one book. Maybe they'll produce it. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of my godbrothers who are trying to, you know, just reprint all of Srila Prabhupada's original books. I don't know if you know about this. Huh? I don't know.
I have it at home.
Yeah, but it went.
1974, I think so.
Who produced it?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, Umadidi, this we found. Mahayogi Maharaj showed to me some of the changes that they've done, and one of them was Srila Prabhupada advising what to do when your guru departs and you feel like you need guidance. And it said the original verse says one should go to a qualified Vaishnava guru, something like that. And they changed it to one should go to a qualified Vaishnava guru within ISKCON. They added that, yeah. So, you know, who knows what else they did. So they've changed the books all over the place, and it's just not, you know, not acceptable. To make Srila Prabhupada sound like he's, you know, interested in the institution more than in Krishna consciousness. I mean, like Srila Govinda Maharaj told us, ISKCON is my heart. That means just that. It's not like my heart is ISKCON. ISKCON is my heart. That means Prabhupada's heart, his living, surrendered heart in Krishna consciousness, that's what ISKCON is. It's not the structure. And that's what he told us, and that's what, you know, has to be understood by us and by, you know, hopefully by the people that are still there, because that's the reality. Okay, Dee.
Verse 101.
Okay.
Start.
You want to summarize what we just covered?
Well, it was pretty high. It's they're very famous verses Srila Gurudev would discuss, glorifying Srimati Radharani. Kaviraj Goswami is like listing some, you know, names for Radharani, you know, Krishna, Devi. These verses: Devi, Krishna, Mayi Prokta, Radhika, Pada Devata, and, you know, Govinda Nandini, Govinda Mohini, like this different names, and then he's explaining each of them. And this is part of explaining the fifth verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita. You know, the Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini, that Radharani, she is the Hladini potency of Krishna. It was elaborated.
Do you know those initial verses?
Sorry, what did you say?
Do you know all the initial verses? Because we're starting the sixth. I'm interested in what that is.
There's the first 14, Srila Sridhar Maharaj describes them as the steel frame of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the first 14 verses. And then in the following chapters, Kaviraj Goswami is elaborating on those. And then of those 14, 3 of them are very principal verses, which are describing the ontological nature of Mahaprabhu and the reason for his descent. Those 3 verses, I can probably cite.
Is that one of is the sixth one of them? Because we're coming to the sixth.
Now, yeah, the sixth. Maybe it's the one describing the 3, you know, the wanting to taste those 3 reasons, wanting to taste the joy that Radharani is it that
talking about the confidential cause of Mahaprabhu's descent?
Yeah, so it's that one.
Okay,
yes.
I'll read the Bengali introduction, then you can say the 6th sloka.
Oh, I think it will come up there.
Okay. So, to explain the 6th verse, I shall first give a hint of its meaning. Shasta slokera arta kodite prakasha. Pratame kahiya sei shlokera abhasa. So the 6th verse, shasta slokera, the artha, the meaning, that he will give, prakash, it will manifest. But pratame, first, kahiye, I shall speak, a hint, abhasa, of the meaning of the verse. Okay, the Lord came to propagate Sankirtan. That is an external purpose I have already indicated. Avatari Prabhu Pracharila Sankirtana Eho Bhaya Hetu Purve Koriyachi Suchana. Say, Avatari, he appeared, Pracharila, to preach Sankirtan. This is the bahya, the external, bahir, outside. Hetu, reason, which Kaviraj Goswami has previously given. Okay. There's a principal cause for Lord Krishna's appearance. This is verse 103. It grows from his own engagements as the foremost enjoyer of loving exchanges. Avatarera ara eka ache mukya bija rasika sekara krishnara sei karya nija. So again, Krishna's appearance, avatarera. Mukya bija, the principal seed, the principal reason. Rasika shekara, he's like the foremost enjoyer of mellows, and that is Krishna, Krishnara. And that is karya, that's his business, that's what he does, that's what he is fully engaged in. Okay, text 104. That most confidential cause is threefold. Swarup Damodar has revealed it. Ati Goda Hetu Sei Trividya Prakara Damodara Swarupa Hoite Yahara Prachara. The most confidential cause is threefold. Swarup Damodar has revealed it. Damodar Swarupa Hoite Yahara Prachara. He's given that proclamation. He's preached it. Prachar. Which is like, cognate with preaching. You can see the Sanskrit basis in some words. They're just, directly related. Somehow they've come through the Greek and the Latin and to the English. Okay. Now, Swarup Gosai is the most intimate associate of the Lord. He therefore knows all these topics well. Swarupa Gosai Prabhura Ati Antaranga Tahate Janera Prabhura E Sabha Prasanga. Okay. There's a little history which would be nice to understand, I think. Prior to the Lord's acceptance of the renounced order, Purushottama Bhattacharya, a resident of Navadvip, desired to enter the renounced order of life. Therefore he left home and went to Benares, Varanasi, where he accepted a position of brahmachari from a Mayavadi sannyasi. When he became a brahmachari, he was given the name Sri Damodar Swarup. He left Benares shortly thereafter without taking sannyas and came to Nilachala, Jagannath Puri, where Lord Chaitanya was staying. He met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there and dedicated his life for the service of the Lord. He became Lord Chaitanya's secretary and constant companion. He used to enhance the pleasure potency of the Lord by singing appropriate songs which were very much appreciated. Swarup Damodar could understand the secret mission of Lord Chaitanya, and it was by his grace only that all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya could know the real purpose of the Lord. Swarup Damodar has been identified as Lalita Devi, the second expansion of Srimati Radharani. However, the authoritative Gora Ganodesha Deepika of Kavikarnapur describes Swarup Damodar as the same Vishaka Devi who serves the Lord in Goloka Vrindavan. Therefore, it is to be understood that Swarup Damodar is a direct expansion of Srimati Radharani, who helps the Lord experience the attitude of Srimati Radharani. So there's different conclusions, but Srila Prabhupada just says, you know, doesn't matter, he's an expansion of Srimati Radharani, so, you know, honor him, worship him. It's unbelievable that he's come, and as that personality, he knows the nature of Mahaprabhu. He knows what Mahaprabhu is seeking after, and as, you know, a personal direct assistant in the Madhurya Leela of Radha and Krishna, he now manifests as Swarup Damodar, personally knows exactly what Mahaprabhu was looking for. So, you know, he did so many things. He wrote down in notes everything that Mahaprabhu was doing. He screened everyone who was to come before Mahaprabhu so as to not, you know, disturb Mahaprabhu. He read Srimad Bhagavatam. He taught Srimad Bhagavatam to Gadadhar Pandit. Is that?
Swarup Damodar? I haven't heard that. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was under the care of Swarup Damodar.
Oh, okay, maybe it was Raghunath Das, yeah, okay. You have any other things about the Swarup Damodar?
Beyond my...
Yeah, well, anyway, Srila Prabhupada has given us a nice history. That was interesting. Okay, what time is it? Oh.
It's about 8.
Okay, let me read one more shloka. Text 106. The heart of Lord Chaitanya is the image of Sri Radhika's emotions. Thus feelings of pleasure and pain arise constantly therein. Radhikara bhava murti prabhura antara. Se bhava sukha dukkha ute nirantara. So Radhikara bhava murti he's the form of the emotions of Srimati Radharani, this Prabhu, this Lord Chaitanya, who antara, in the heart, inside, this bhavi, this condition of sukha dukkha, happiness and distress, is constantly there. Okay. One who engages in sense gratification on the material platform can hardly understand Radha Bhava, but one who is freed from the demands of sense gratification can understand it. Radha Bhava must be understood from the Goswamis, those who are actually controllers of the senses. From such authorized sources, it is to be known that the attitude of Srimati Radharani is the highest perfection of conjugal love, which is the highest of the 5 transcendental mellows, and it is the complete perfection of love of Krishna. The transcendental affairs can be understood on 2 platforms. One is called elevated, the other is called super elevated. The loving affairs exhibited in Dwarka are the elevated form. The super elevated position is reached in the manifestation of the pastimes of Vrindavan. The attitude of Lord Chaitanya is certainly super elevated. So he talks about the separation that Mahaprabhu is feeling. The significance of this separation and meeting is very specific. If someone tries to understand the exalted position of Lord Chaitanya without knowing this, he is certain to misunderstand it. One first must become fully self-realized. Otherwise, he may misidentify the Lord as Nagara, or the enjoyer of the damsels of Braja, thus committing the mistake of rasa bhasa, or overlapping understanding. Anyway, so we're discussing high things, and throughout this discussion, Srila Prabhupada always kind of pulls things back and tells us, you know, be careful, this is all going on the platform of pure realization, not a tinge of material attachment. You know, we have to always keep that in our mind and, you know, understand this is to be understood, heard, and worshipped, and like imbibed. The sound given by Kaviraj Goswami imbibed in our hearts, but at the same time understood clearly that the full realization and the understanding of this won't be accessible to us until we leave material possessiveness and acquisitionness behind. It's just not possible. So it's, you know, many places we see Srila Prabhupada warning, many places we see Srila Guru Maharaj warning, many places we see Srila Govinda Maharaj warning. These are all now becoming more and more significant as, you know, the allurement of the notion of, you know, entering into the high pastimes without purity is, you know, to some extent coming to the fore in amongst followers of who are trying to follow Krishna consciousness. So we are, you know, again, very fortunate to be in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math and protected from, you know, that kind of unfortunate deviation. So misidentifying Lord Chaitanya, seeing him as Krishna, who is just an external enjoyer. Okay, anything, Didi?
No, thank you.
Okay. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math Acharya Brinda ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math Vaishnava Brinda ki jai. All the world Vaishnava Brinda ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Jai.
Haven't heard Unity.
Oh, you want to sing Hari Haraya? 60.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govindaram Srimadhusudam.
Gopala Govindaram Srimadhusudam.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chanda.
Shri Advaita Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Dharadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Dharadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha.
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha.
Shiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha.
Shiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha.
Vijay Gosai Gauri Charana Sandana.
Vijay Gosai Gauri Charana Vandana.
Bhavate Vignana Sapista Purana.
Bhavate Vignana Sapista Purana.
Vijay Gosai Janga Muritanga Rasa.
Vijay Gosai Janga Muritanga Rasa.
Hansavara Padarinu More Panchagrasa.
Samsavara Padarinu More Panchagrasa.
Mandira Charana Sri
Sevi Bhakta Sane Vasa
Janame Janame More Abhilasa
Janame Janame More Abhilasa
Echai Gosai Jabe Pache Koila Basa
Echai Gosai Jabe Pache Koila Basa
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Koila Prakasa
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Koila Prakasa
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayamana
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayamana
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Koriyasa
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Koriyasa
Harinam Sankirtana Koe Narottamadasa
Harinam Sankirtan Kohe Narottamadasa
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Gaurahari
Nitai Gauranga Gaurahari
Gaura Gaurahari
Gaurahari
Nitai Gauranga Gaurahari
Nitai Gauranga Gaurahari
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Gurudev
Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Gurudev
Jai Sripad Paramhamsa Parivajatacharya Vari Ashtatar Satashi Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki
Joy.
Bhakti Lakshmi Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki
Joy.
Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki
Joy.
Shri Rupa Guru Guru Bharati Ki
Joy.
Shri Shri Guru Guranga Sundar Radha Giri Hari Ju Ki
Joy.
Namaskar Shri Haridas Thakur
Joy.
Satvashan Shri
Joy. 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 Joy.
Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki
Joy.
Jai Vishwa Vyapitali Shakha Mat Ki
Joy.
Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat London Chapter Ki
Joy.
Jai Shri Bhakti Nirvana Charja Mat Ki
Joy.
Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Charja Rinda Ki
Joy.
Nanta Koti Vaishnava Rinda Ki
Joy.
Jai Samba Bhakti Gaur Bhakti Rinda Ki
Joy.
Jai Jai Sripad Bhakti Vigraha Nyasi Mat Ki
Joy.
Jai Umati Ki Jai
Joy.
Shri Jai Gaur
Vishakha Devi Rashti Ki Jai. Vrinda Ki Jai. That was really nice chanting, Uma. I haven't heard you chant for a long time.
Maybe we should tone this off.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. Who knows how to turn it off?
Ramananda and Radharani knows also.
Oh.
Let me see. Maybe it's not so difficult. No. I better ask them to do it. Do you know how to turn it off? Can you turn it off?
Oh, here it is.
Actually, Sripad Maharaj, he said that we have to be very careful in finding fault with our God sisters because it's like sucking